I'm Tim Harder, a former tech CEO with a background in science, driven to solve complex problems. I've spent my life building systems that work, but some things don't. Join me on a journey to explore the world's greatest mysteries. This is Unknown Journey. Searching for answers to the world's greatest mysteries. This is Unknown Journey with Tim Harder, searching for answers to the world's greatest mysteries. Join me in today's episode. This is Unknown Journey in search of Nazi gold. At first, it didn't look like madness. It looked like momentum. One country after another fell. Poland, France, much of Europe brought to its very knees. The German war machine was fast, precise, and for a while unstoppable. And with every victory, something else grew. Fear. Across Europe, across the oceans, people began to realize this might not end well. Before we continue, one thing should be absolutely clear. This episode does not celebrate the ideology, crimes, or symbols of Nazi Germany in any form. We look back at one of history's darkest chapters only to understand it and to remember the human cost behind it. The stories surrounding hidden wartime treasure remain disputed, incomplete, and often mixed with myth. And the people within that era, including figures such as Oskar Schindler, were often complex, flawed, and shaped by extraordinary circumstances. Our purpose is not to glorify the past, but to examine it honestly, carefully, and with respect for those who suffered. And then there was one man who refused to accept it: Winston Churchill. In Britain, standing almost alone, he said something that would echo far beyond that moment.
We shall defend our island, whatever the cost may be. We shall fight on the beaches, we shall fight on the landing grounds, we shall fight in the fields and in the streets, we shall fight in the hills. We shall never surrender.
Wars have a way of turning. In the east, in the freezing ruins of Stalingrad, the unstoppable stopped. What was meant to be a victory became a catastrophe. Cold, hunger, encirclement. An entire army of German soldiers trapped and lost. From that moment on, the direction changed. The Reich was no longer expanding, it was retreating. Cities burned, supply lines collapsed, and decisions became desperate. But I want to tell you a story. In the middle of all this madness, camps, fear, hunt for gold, two people found each other: Joseph and Rebecca Bau. They married in secret inside a prison camp, which was built for death. And later, when Schindler's List was put together, Rebecca gave Joseph her place. he was sent to safety, and she traveled directly to Auschwitz. They found each other again after the Great War, and there were children, a family, which continued. Now think about that. Meanwhile, the circus of death kept raging on, and surrounded by the enemy, defeated by the Allied forces, the Germans became apparently desperate. Because there was something else that needed to be protected. Gold. Stolen, collected, hidden, and now in danger of being captured. Imagine this: a group of soldiers somewhere in the final days of the Great War. They are given an order: move the gold! Crates filled with bars, jewelry, fragments of entire lives. The front is collapsing. The enemy is closing in. There's no time. One of them, let's call him Georg Beiss. No rifle, no unit, just a bag filled with gold. The forest is dark, the ground wet, and somewhere behind him, dogs. Every step could be the last. Every sound could give him away. And in that moment, fear does something strange to a man. Orders, loyalty, ideology, they start to fade. Survival takes over. And so, instead of burying the gold, Georg Beiss keeps it. He runs through forests, through fields, until finally he reaches a small airstrip. A private plane, no questions asked, just enough fuel for one last journey, and then Georg Beiss disappears. Now, did that happen? I don't know. But if you think about it, you are losing the war, you are surrounded, and you are holding a fortune in your hands. Would you really bury it and walk away? Stories like this are not in the history books. There is no existing record of a man named Georg Beiss. No document, no proof. But that's the thing about war. Not everything was recorded. Some things simply vanished. And maybe some of that gold didn't stay buried at all. And today, people are searching for Nazi gold. But when you think about it, the most valuable thing smuggled through war was life. The most valuable thing anyone ever smuggled through a war was life. This was Unknown Journey, in search of something more valuable than any gold. Thanks for watching and take care. My grandfather gave this to me and he said, if things ever get complicated, this year should solve problems very quickly. You simply pull this out and throw it away. I think we should depart.